Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you what I get up to during the holidays, 2 weeks before my first exams in January.
We're going to start on Sunday. When I wake up at 10:45 a.m., I first read for about 30 minutes in bed. This morning I'm reading Grit by Angela Duckworth. Then at 11:07 a.m., I finally get out of my bed, have some cereal, and start meal prepping. So I basically just like to cook a huge batch of something, then freeze most of it for future meals. Today I'm cooking chicken legs with soy sauce using my rice cooker. I just dump all the ingredients in, turn on the rice cooker, and 35 minutes later it's all cooked, and I pack it into a bunch of small boxes for freezing. At around 2 p.m. I finally get around to start working. I summarize Lecture 1 of my Electronic Properties of Solids module for 25 minutes. Then I go back to do some more meal prepping. I cook a whole bag of baby spinach which I bought from Tesco on Friday and portion it out into some small containers to reheat for meals on a later day. At 2:45 p.m. I start to feel hungry and decide to cook my late lunch. Udon with the spinach and chicken which I just cooked. To save on washing up, I just eat in my rice cooker pot with a wooden spoon. After lunch, I work on my advanced synthesis cheat sheets for an hour. Take a break to make some tea. Then I finish off part 1 of my synthesis cheat sheets while Skyping my friends. If you're curious why I'm making multi-page cheat sheets, it's because my exams are open book. Therefore, I'm making them not for better recall, but rather to minimize the time it would take to flip through my notes during the exam. At 6 p.m. I take a break from my laptop screen and cook some miso soup, eggplant, and rice for dinner. After dinner, I work on my reactive intermediates cheat sheets and finish off part 2 of it before winding down for the day. On Monday, I continued reading The Bullet Journal Method by Ryder Carroll. When it comes to non-fiction books, I like to read multiple at the same time. I then have breakfast and start work at 11:45 a.m. by continuing to summarize my Electronic Properties of Solids module. At around noon, I cook 2 portions of lunch, one to eat now and one to eat some other day. After washing up from lunch, I decide to mop my floor using a static wipe to get rid of all the dust and hair piling up my floor. Then, once I finish cleaning the kitchen as well, I get back to summarizing my Electronic Properties of Solids module. I make a rooibos cinnamon latte after 75 minutes of solid work. Then finish off summarizing 3 out of 8 of my Electronic Properties of Solids lectures after another 25 minutes. From 5:45 till 6:50 p.m., I study Lecture 5 of Reactive Intermediates. Then I exercise for a bit before eating dinner at 7:30 p.m. I then chill for the next hour or so, take a shower, and then resume work at 9 p.m. I study synthesis chemistry for about an hour, then decide I've had enough for the day, and head to my friend's room to play Overcooked to de-stress before bed. On Tuesday morning, I got out of bed earlier to do laundry. My friend and I have this system where he puts the laundry into the washing machine at around 9 a.m. and I put the wet clothes into the tumble dryer at 10 a.m. While the laundry is drying, I climb back into my bed and continue reading The Bullet Journal Method by Ryder Carroll. I do enjoy reading, and my goal for the new year is to read 52 books in 2021. So let me know in the comments section if you guys would be interested in hearing me talk about the books I read this year. After having some granola and folding all the dried laundry, I start work at 11:45 a.m. I work till 12:40 p.m., then I have some lunch. At 1:30 p.m., I summarize Part 3 and Part 4 of my Advanced Transition Metal Chemistry module. I finish making the cheat sheets for Advanced Transition Metal Chemistry at around 5 p.m., and then take a break from work. During my break, I start cooking rice for dinner and make a cup of tea to help me focus as I review Lecture 6 of Reactive Intermediates for another hour. At 6:35 p.m. I resume cooking dinner. Tonight I'm cooking for my friend as well, and we're having gyudon, also known as Japanese beef bowl. After hanging out with my friend for a bit after dinner, I resume revising Lecture 6 of Reactive Intermediates. Then set up my 2021 bullet journal before going to sleep. In the beginning, it was only going to be a reading journal to track how many books I read, as well as to contain some book notes. But after reading The Bullet Journal Method by Ryder Carroll, I was again inspired to start bullet journaling again. Now on to Wednesday. I go to Tesco in the morning, then I have lunch at 12. From 12:15 to 4:40 p.m. I work on reviewing my reactive intermediate summary sheets and practice drawing radical reaction mechanisms. Then, for the rest of the evening, I reviewed my advanced synthesis reaction mechanisms, attempted some workshop questions, then worked on editing a new YouTube video. I didn't film myself doing those things for some reason, so here's just a screenshot of my stats from pomodorotracker.com. Before going to sleep, I continue reading The Bullet Journal Method and knit a roll of my scarf. Another one of my goals for 2021 is to finish knitting the scarf. And to do that, I'm trying to create a habit of knitting at least one row every night. Other than reading more and finishing a scarf, I also want to create 52 YouTube videos this year. What are your goals for 2021? Let me know in the comments section down below. So now we're on to December the 31st, New Year's Eve. I started the morning off by calling my grandparents and my mom before starting work at noon. I spend the first 15 minutes correcting the rest of the mistakes I made in the synthesis workshop questions, then move on to doing some past paper questions. I spent around 3 hours answering as well as correcting the advanced synthesis past paper questions for 2014, 2013, and 2012. While doing the past papers, I also film a new study with me for my YouTube channel. At 7 p.m., I eat some spaghetti bolognese prepared by my friend and play Overcooked for around 2 hours. Now after that, I wrote out corrections for the past papers I completed in a day for about an hour and edit a new real-time study with me video on my channel during a 10-minute break in the middle. At 11:50 p.m., I continue reading The Bullet Journal Method and then stare out the window at around midnight when fireworks were set off at a nearby park to celebrate the new year. And as for me, I celebrated it by finishing off the book I was reading. I wrote a book review of it on my Instagram if you wanted to check it out.
Okay, so now Friday. Because next week is going to be super busy with exam revision, I spend the morning meal prepping. I chop up vegetables for 6 portions of curry to cook later for dinner, as well as some bibimbap side dishes, like mushrooms and carrot sticks. I then have lunch at 1 p.m. and spend an hour or so following that translating a new study with me video into Chinese, then uploading it. The video flopped really badly, so I end up just turning it into an unlisted video and uploading the English version the next Monday. At 2:30 p.m. I start reviewing the past paper corrections I made yesterday. I then attempt the 2011, 2010, and 2009 Advanced Synthesis Chemistry past papers, correcting them as I go. I stop working at around 6 p.m. and finish cooking the curry and rice at 7:10 p.m. After dinner, I review the advanced synthesis corrections I made earlier today. From my review, I realized that I need to study the organic reactions which I've learned the past 2 years. So I then spend an hour and 30 minutes on making a cheat sheet for my prior organic chemistry knowledge. Noticing how much of a dump my desk area has become, I then tidy it up and take a shower before then going to sleep. Okay, finally Saturday. After procrastinating for a few hours, I forced myself to work by filming the Study With Me time-lapse reel. From 1:50 p.m. till 7 p.m., I work in 25-minute chunks with 5-minute breaks in between. During the 3 hours and 45 minutes of solid work I did, I reviewed my advanced transition metal chemistry cheat sheets, completed and corrected 2 workshops over questions, as well as a past paper from 2014. I then decided to take the rest of the evening off to prepare myself for the intense week of studying that was to come next week. So that's a wrap-up of my week, spanning from the 27th of December till the 2nd of January. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a productive week.